lovely. Forgot your name.
Megan Keller.
You can blame it on my tiredness because I know who you are.
Yes, that is fine. I like to say my name. Megan Keller is here.
Megan Keller is in the house. Oh my God. That's too funny.
Yes.
Wow, Melissa. Wow. For anybody who's watching this right now, I have been getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning all week long to cover for someone who has been out for surgery. So I'll blame it on my tiredness. I'm so sorry, Megan.
No problems at all.
But anyways, we're going to have an awesome conversation about Nami.
Yes.
And what does that stand for?
So NAMI is the National Alliance with Mental Illness, which is, again, a nonprofit grassroots effort that actually started here in Wisconsin several years ago. I think it was 1979, but don't quote me on that.
Oh, wow.
So it's a grassroots effort of volunteers and family members who really saw a need for supports and resources for loved ones who are dealing with mental illness. So it started there, and it has grown into a national organization that has national, state, and local affiliate levels. So there's a lot that has developed and grown over time. And now here in the Marinette and Oconto community, we have Nami North Bay, which is up and running and working to build here as we just got official affiliateship earlier this year, late last year.
Late last year.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Much needed in our communities.
Yes.
Very much needed. So now, your full mission is right now is focusing on resources. But speaking of the resources, you also have 2 events that you're holding.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so in order to even become an official affiliate, we had to do a lot of training and onboarding of stuff before we applied, and part of that is taking on some of the, what they call, NAMI core programming sort of things.
Okay.
So 2 of those that we're doing and that we chose to start with as an organization was Hearts and Minds, which is really a 5-week course aimed on talking about how mental illness, physical wellness, all of these things kind of interplay. It's a free course, again, and it is a 5-week course that goes through different topics and stuff like that. It's a group. And that is currently going to be held in Oconto this time around.
Okay.
Again, we have a partnership. We will be hopefully bringing it to Marinette in the future as well, but we're going to kind of bounce around and hit both counties. So this one's starting in Oconto, and it actually starts next week on Wednesday, April 1st. So it's scheduled for 2 hours. Sometimes it can be a little less and things like that. It's at 6 p.m. It is, again, free to register. And it really just gives information about, working through things with mental illness and just wellness as a whole thing, nutrition, all of these little things that kind of interplay within that.
And I spoke with the public health nurse.
Yes, Wendy.
And she was on, and she has taken the course.
Yes.
And for anybody who wants to learn and become educated and everything, this is the course to take. If it was in Marinette, I would be taking it, but I can't drive all the way to Oconto right now.
Yes.
But, yeah, it sounds phenomenal.
Absolutely. It's free, so, there's really no cost, which is great. And, Wendy's actually one of the leaders that she's actually running that one.
Nice.
So, so she's very knowledgeable in that. So we do have information about it on our Facebook page. The NAMI, N-A-M-I, North Bay Facebook page has the link to sign up and things like that with it and more information about it. So again, if anybody's interested, I really encourage to sign up even this weekend. Sign up today. Don't wait. Don't
wait. And then the next one you have is Ending the Silence. What is that?
Yeah, so Ending the Silence is actually aimed at youth. So that is programming that helps to reduce stigma of mental health and just gives some facts and information about it. And actually also includes what they call a youth presenter. So somebody who identifies as having mental illness shares their story of what that looked like as a youth and, you know, growing up and things too. The youth presenter is actually an adult, so they're 18 to 30, but they share their story as well as just getting some general facts out so that youth can understand some of the basics about what mental illness might look like for themselves, for their peers, for family members, and also, again, know of some different resources or, you know, things that they can do to work through that.
Right.
So it's a short presentation. It's short. It's about 50 minutes. It probably doesn't seem short to children and youth.
Well,
but it's aimed at middle school and high schoolers primarily.
Oh, nice.
So we're working to just outreach with different schools or different organizations that work with youth in that group. Again, we're a small volunteer organization, so if there are school, you know, personnel or, you know, different organizations that have that population, or with summer coming up, they have that population coming in for summer programming or things like that, we'd love for people to reach out, either here in Marinette or Oconto counties. We'd love to be able to talk about getting on the schedule and being able to do that and making things work. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect to get into the schools.
Yes.
That's where you need to be.
Yeah.
Now, we kind of talked a little bit before the show here, but and it's exciting because you have a whole presentation put together now.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we developed, because again, we're new in the area, and what we're really finding is, even though there's a state national level, people don't know what Nami is.
Right.
So we want to help educate people, and again, our big push this year is really awareness and just making sure people know we're here, as we work to also get volunteers and just more hands and things like that. But people need to know we're here first. So
Yes.
the presentation, we really just put together a quick PowerPoint presentation that talks about the two programs I just talked about, the Heart and Minds and Ending the Silence, and then just some general background information and how we got here, and then how to connect with things and stuff too. So, you know, it can be something we can do in 15, 20 minutes. It can be something that, you know, we can come for a half hour to an hour and you know, talk and answer questions and do stuff. We can really make it moldable for whatever the need is within the organization or agency, but we'd love to come into different spaces that would like to know more about this resource, or have interest in partnering in some way to connect with us, and again, get kind of in the schedule to be able to do that. So yeah, now we have a PowerPoint, which again kind of helps a little bit. Again, there's a ton of information out there, but helps to kind of get to some of the basics of things.
Right. I think that's the scary part, is like, where do you start? You know, where do you begin? What do you do? You know, so how do you learn? How do you get educated? You know?
Yeah, and I think, again, you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And people could even have heard of it before, but really, again, not knowing what it is, because we haven't had a local affiliate that's been talking about it or doing it. So, you know, that's really, again, why our focus is on that awareness and continuing to get the word out and tell people about what we're doing. And just knowing that at the state and national levels, like, there's resources available. So even if there's programming we're not doing here, there could be availability for other programming, like to come here and things like that to do some of the programming, or specifically like with support groups and things like that, whether it's, again, for an individual with mental illness or even like family support. There are peer groups and supports out there that are open to people across the state, that they keep a list out there, or virtual even too. So that is ever changing based on what groups are up and running and requirements and things like that. So I really encourage people to continue to keep an eye out there.
Definitely. That would be wonderful to have groups and being able to come and
and we would love to have that here. That is like on our like future vision,
that would be
to do that. And really, in order to do that, we're going to need some more hands on deck to do that.
So speaking of volunteers, how many volunteers are you looking for to really get these things going?
You know, I think even like just with like the peer support group, I think like ideally we'd love to have like 4 or 5 people trained in doing that, because we get people are busy, schedules, have different stuff going on.
Right.
So that also gives us flexibility, because again, it is a completely volunteer organization.
Right.
So it gives us the flexibility or things like that to be able to do things and keep things running. I mean, we can start with a volunteer who is interested in it, but in order to make it really, I think, ongoing, sustainable, and things like that, even just like in the peer support groups, I think we'd love to have a few people. We also have opportunities even on our leadership team with it still,
nice.
because again, in the same vein, we would like to have like 2 people in every role to just allow that backup, and especially because we're serving 2 counties.
Exactly.
And then we'd love to get more. I mean, again, these are 2 programs we're able to run, the Hearts and Minds and Ending the Silence, but we'd love to get more people in and trained for those too.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't have an upward limit, Melissa, on volunteers. We would love to have 1. We would love to have 50, and then we'd love to have a lot of people in between too that maybe, you know, aren't really interested in like running something specific or being involved in that way, but just knowing to help, because we want to just have that base and running. And again, maybe we won't have anything in the next 3 months, but maybe 6 months or a year from now, maybe we'll have things, you know, as we look to maybe doing a walk and things like that in the future. Like we're gonna need hands.
Need hands. You're gonna need help with that.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, is there anything that I've overlooked? I think we talked about everything.
No, I think it's just, again, really letting people know we're here. Again, we're happy to come in and talk a little bit just about the basics of what NAMI is and how people can get involved on a more personal level, and volunteers, and just keeping connected on NAMI Facebook, the NAMI North Bay Facebook, and just following that. People can become members of NAMI as well. That also helps our local affiliate. So a membership, I believe it's like $40 a year. There's different tiers too, if people have any financial struggles with that. But you can apply through the NAMI Wisconsin website to be a member of NAMI, and it's a year-long membership. You just get information about what NAMI statewide has going on, and then also it gets you connected in with a local affiliate. So if you choose NAMI North Bay, we get a portion of those proceeds for any annual memberships to, again, help with different events and things that we'll be looking to do. And again, it's just another way to stay connected. And then we also have that email list too. So as we grow and as we're doing stuff, we'll obviously be pushing things out via email and things too, to keep people informed other than just our social media page.
Definitely. Oh, great ideas. Oh my gosh.
We'll get there.
You'll get there. You'll get there. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Things will, one day it'll be like, bam, and things are going to go crazy. So enjoy the lull.
Yes. We're very excited.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I love learning more about what you guys are doing. So great job.
Thank you.
And everybody else.